When Indonesia commissioned the KRI Brawijaya, the event was more than the arrival of a new warship. It marked an inflection point in the maritime development of Indonesia, signaling that the nation is stepping into a new era of naval capability and strategic presence. For decades, the Indonesian Navy operated mid-sized warships tailored for coastal and archipelagic patrols. With Brawijaya, Indonesia now possesses a warship that can project power beyond territorial waters, operate in blue water environments, and represent Indonesia among the world's modern navies. KRI Brawijaya is a multi-purpose offshore patrol ship, but the name can be misleading if interpreted with the casual meaning of just a patrol vessel. In reality, its size, endurance, and technological infrastructure place it closer to the category of a light frigate, or even approaching the capability of certain destroyer-class vessels in terms of command roles. With a displacement of more than 6,000 tons, a length exceeding 140 meters, and range exceeding 5,000 nautical miles, Brawijaya is not simply a ship that patrols borders. It is a vessel that extends the maritime reach of Indonesia into areas that matter strategically, economically, and politically. For many Indonesians, the name Brawijaya carries meaning beyond steel and engine specifications. The name is drawn from the historic Majapahit lineage, remembered as one of the golden eras of Indonesian maritime history. To name a modern warship Brawijaya is to make a symbolic connection between the maritime heritage of the archipelago and the maritime ambition of the present. It is a reminder that Indonesia was once a naval power of regional dominance and is now reasserting that legacy with modern instruments. When Indonesia decided to purchase 2 Italian-built PPA-class warships, starting with Brawijaya, it was an example of strategic pragmatism. Instead of waiting many years for domestic construction or risking uncertain timelines in cooperative shipbuilding projects, Indonesia opted to acquire hulls that were already close to completion. Italy had begun building these ships for its own navy, and Indonesia negotiated the purchase of 2 units. This accelerated delivery significantly and allowed Indonesia to quickly fill the capability gap while waiting for domestic frigate programs such as the Red-White, Merah Putih frigate to reach maturity. The total cost of around €1.18 billion for the 2 vessels reflects the decision to invest heavily in quality, speed of delivery, and capability. At the moment of commissioning, Brawijaya is delivered in what is known as a fitted for but not with state. This means that the ship is structurally and electronically prepared to carry advanced weapons, but those weapons are not yet installed. To explain this in everyday terms, the ship is like a high-end smartphone without the most premium apps installed. The hardpoints for missile launchers exist. The electronic warfare suite can accept additional modules. The fire control systems are designed to link with a future vertical launch missile system. Indonesia can choose to arm Brawijaya with long-range surface-to-air missiles, anti-ship missiles, advanced sonar arrays, and close-in weapon systems at a later time, depending on budget priorities and geopolitical context. This flexibility is not a sign of weakness, it is a strategic decision. It allows Indonesia to adapt the ship to future threats and to expand its capabilities gradually. It also creates margin for local industrial participation in the future weaponization phase, whether through integration of South Korean missiles, European systems, or eventually Indonesian-produced weapon systems. The strategic role of Brawijaya is clear when seen through a geographic and geopolitical lens. Indonesia is a maritime nation with more than 17,000 islands and some of the most vital maritime corridors in the world. The Strait of Malacca carries one of the largest concentrations of commercial shipping anywhere on Earth. The Natuna Sea sits on the edge of contested economic zones and natural gas deposits. The Arafura Sea is a sensitive frontier area. With a ship like Brawijaya, Indonesia can not only patrol these waters, but also maintain sustained presence in them, deploy helicopters and unmanned systems, and coordinate other vessels from a command position. This is especially relevant in the context of modern maritime gray zone competition, where confrontations are not necessarily declared wars, but persistent pressure through Coast Guard deployments, fishing incursions, and subtle military signaling. A warship of Brawijaya's scale changes the psychological dynamics of these interactions. It conveys the message that Indonesia is not merely a country protecting its borders, but a maritime power that shapes its surrounding sea environment. Among Southeast Asian navies, Brawijaya stands out in size and command capacity. Singapore possesses advanced technology in its formidable class frigates, and Vietnam fields capable submarines in the Kilo class. However, when considering command platform potential, range, and sea state tolerance, Brawijaya becomes one of the most significant surface warships operated by any ASEAN navy. This is not a competition narrative to diminish other countries, but a factual recognition of Indonesia's rising status as a maritime heavyweight. Looking into the future, Brawijaya may not remain the largest or most capable Indonesian warship indefinitely. The upcoming red-white frigate, built domestically with international technical assistance, will eventually surpass it in capability and firepower. But it is Brawijaya that opens the door. It is the stepping stone, the modern flagship of transition, handling missions and operations during the period in which Indonesia completes its maturation into a navy capable of independently fielding and sustaining large warships built on Indonesian soil. Beyond weapons, sensors, steel plates, and propulsion systems, Brawijaya represents something profound for Indonesia. It represents self-confidence. It represents maritime identity. Indonesians are a people shaped by the sea, living across islands connected more by water than land. For such a nation, a strong navy is not simply a branch of defense. It is an expression of national character. It is part of how Indonesia sees itself and expects the world to see it. The commissioning of KRI Brawijaya is not the end of a journey, but the beginning of a transformation. The Indonesian Navy is evolving from a regional patrol-centric force into a navy capable of sustained maritime presence, deterrence, and influence. In the coming years, as new frigates, new submarines, and new technologies are integrated, Brawijaya will be remembered as one of the ships that marked the turning point. It carries not only weapons and crew, but the aspirations of a maritime nation reawakening to its destiny. If you have thoughts about Brawijaya, its role, or the future of the Indonesian Navy, feel free to share your perspectives. And if you want to follow the future journey of Indonesian defense development and naval modernization, you are welcome to subscribe and stay with us as we explore how Indonesia is building its maritime future.